Namokar mantra.
Namo Arihanta Namo Setanam Namo Aryayanam Namo Uvajayanam Namo Loe Savasahanam Eso Panchanamo Yaro Savapavpanasano Manglanancham Savesim Padabam Hoi Mangalam Padamam Hoi Mangalam.
Okay. Kreet, play the video.
अरे देखो तो ये कौन है जो अकेले ही इतना सारा खाना खाए जा रहा है और खाता ही जा रहा है। जानना चाहते हैं कौन है ये जिन्होंने अकेले ये इतना सारा खाना खा लिया? तो चलो जानते हैं। इनका जन्म 2nd शताब्दी में, दूसरी शताब्दी में दक्षिण भारत के कांची नाम के एक शहर में हुआ था। वो एक बहुत ही बड़े स्कॉलर थे, लॉजिक, व्याकरण, साहित्य के बहुत बड़े विद्वान थे और अपनी आत्मा का ध्यान करने वाले थे। इन्होंने बहुत सारे स्तवन, शास्त्र जी और ग्रंथों की रचना की। लग रहे ना इंटरेस्टिंग? पता है ये कौन थे? ये हैं महान आचार्य श्री समंतभद्र जी। एक बार उनको एक भयंकर बीमारी हो गई जिसका नाम था भस्मक व्याधि रोग। इस बीमारी में कितना भी भोजन कर लो, वो खाने के बाद भी बहुत भूख लगती है। ऐसा ही उनके साथ भी हो रहा था। तो आचार्य समंतभद्र जी।
Okay, I'll just explain to you because it is in Hindi. Hi, Prisha. Okay, so Jai Jinendra. Okay, so in this video, we are talking about an Acharya. It's okay even if you had left it like that, no problem. Okay, here we are talking about an Acharya called Samantbhadra Acharya. He was born in South India in the 2nd century. He was born in the 2nd century. He was a Muniraj. In the starting, we saw there was a lot of food. There was a lot of food. So Avi, he had a disease of eating a lot of food. Like whatever he ate, it was just not staying in his stomach. Everything was just, going, like basically he just needed a lot of food all the time. So he was in a Muni state, and in a Muni state, obviously, you cannot consume that much food. So now let's see what actually happens. He's a Muniraj, a very learned Muniraj. He has written many scriptures, as they mentioned in that in the clip, that he has written many shastras on logic, many shastras on like different topics, and even he has written a shastra on Ratnakar Shravakachar. All of us, we all are Shravak, meaning we all are householders. So how should a householder live? He has written a very nice shastra called Ratnakand Shravak Acharya. Okay, Achar, sorry. Kreet, continue with the video. So because it's in Hindi, I will explain to you in between.
जो भी खाते उसी समय भस्म हो जाता और उनको फिर से भूख लगने लगती। इस बीमारी के कारण आचार्य समंतभद्र जी को मुनिचर्या का पालन करना बहुत कठिन हो रहा था। तो अपनी इस समस्या से छुटकारा पाने और इसका समाधान प्राप्त करने वो अपने आचार्य श्री के पास गए और सल्लेखना धारण करने की आज्ञा मानी। अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि ये सल्लेखना क्या होती है? तो समता भावों से राग, द्वेष आदि को कम करके धीरे धीरे भोजन आदि का त्याग करके और शरीर को कृश करते हुए मरण करना ही सल्लेखना कहलाता है। हम इसे समाधि मरण भी कहते हैं। तो अब ये जो रोग था उसका इलाज तो केवल अच्छे सुस्वाद भोजन खाने से ही संभव था, और मुनि होते हुए वो भी बार बार भोजन करना ये तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं था उनके लिए। इसीलिए उन्होंने अपने गुरु से सल्लेखना की ही अनुमति मांगी, लेकिन उनके गुरुदेव।
Okay, so now what happens that this Muniraj Avi, that because he has this disease of eating food, whatever food he's eating, it is all getting bhasma. They've used the word bhasma. Bhasma means that it all vanishes, or it all disappears, or it all burns. In like whatever context you use the word bhasma. Okay, so basically the food he was eating was all getting, like bhasma, right? So then he goes to his Acharya. Look, this person sitting over here is Acharya. Prisha, Jo, Veer, Avi, Kritni. Look, there's a commander. Commander is that pot. As you can see in a bajuma, there's a like peacock ni oli, like a, I mean, it is like a fagyo. Basically, it is like a fagyo. Why do Muniraj keep this? Look, he's completely naked. He hasn't worn any clothes. So he keeps this not for his comfort, but look where he's sitting. He first, Avi, first he needs to sweep that area. Why does he need to sweep that area, Prisha? Because if there are any germs over there, he doesn't want to kill them. Look at his good thoughts. Like he's like a very, I mean, he's like a very good like noble person, basically, who does not want to kill even the smallest of the smallest living being. So Prisha and Kreet, this is the reason why he keeps that peachy. It is called peachy. It is basically like a small fagyo made out of peacock leaves. And Bajuma, there's a pot called, it is called kamandal. Like the word is called kamandal. Kamandal is there for the water. Now, water is not for drinking. Look at their mind is so strong. The mind is so strong. The water is not for drinking. The water is only if they go for a long call to clean the back. The water is kept for that. Now imagine in like such a high state of a muni. Now Samantbhadra Acharya has this disease of eating, where they're not even allowed to keep water for drinking. How will he keep food and how will he keep on eating? So that's the reason why he goes to his Acharya, to his teacher, and he's asking him that, can I take Sallekna? Sallekna means that basically it is not the same as fasting, but it is like almost like meditating and being within the soul until death comes, where no water is taken and where no food is taken, Prisha. What does Salekhna mean? Salekhna means that until death comes, Veer, that this person, this Muniraj, look, they just showed that scene where there was a Muniraj lying down and there were many people sitting around him. So basically, he's not fasting, but he's meditating within the soul, so that he keeps on meditating within the soul until death comes. That is called Salekhna. Okay, now continue. Let's see what the Acharya is now telling to Samantbhadra.
ने सल्लेखना नहीं दी, बल्कि कहा जब तक कि उनका रोग ठीक नहीं हो जाता तब तक उपचार करने के लिए कुछ समय तक अपनी दीक्षा छोड़ दो। रोग शांत होने पर फिर से अपनी मुनिचर्या का पालन करना, ऐसा कहा उनके आचार्य ने। तो गुरु की आज्ञा लेकर
Okay, so now this Acharya is also a very wise man. He's telling Samantbhadra that no, I cannot give you Salekhna. Maybe it was not appropriate for him. See, the teacher always knows what is appropriate for each student. So you must listen to the teacher. This is an important rule. Now, Kreet, sometimes you're not listening. Okay, look, Veer ne ek vakhat be vakhat kai nahi sambhali lei che vat. Okay, Kreet and Neet. So now this Acharya is telling to Samantbhadra that no, you must not take Salekhna. Instead, you leave your Muni Diksha and you go back as a householder. You go back down. So what Gunastan is Muni Rajan Veer? Sixth or seventh. Very good. Nekrit and Nit, when you go down as a householder, your Gunastan drops to which Gunastan? Fourth Gunastan. Very good. Now Samantbhadra, now he leaves the Muni Diksha, Avi, and now he becomes a householder. Now let's see what happens, Prisha.
आचार्य समंतभद्र जी अपना रोग शांत करने के लिए एक नगर से दूसरे नगर घूमते रहे। सबसे पहले पंडू नगर पहुंचे, मगर उन्हें वैसा भोजन नहीं मिला वहां। और फिर आगे चले तो शहर आया मंदसौर, वहां भी वैसा भोजन नहीं मिला। अब घूमते घूमते वो बनारस के एक मंदिर में पहुंचे, तो वहां का पुजारी मंदिर से आ रहा था बाहर पूजा करके, और उसके हाथ में बहुत सारे व्यंजनों की थाली थी। ये सब उसने भगवान को भोग लगाया था।
Okay, so now what happens is that this Samantbhadra goes from village to Pandunagar. Eventually, he reaches this place called Banaras. Now you can see there's a Pandit over here standing in front of us holding a big plate of laddu. Look, he's holding a big plate of laddu and he's walking forward. Now, Samantbhadra had this disease of eating and eating and eating and eating all the time. So he was looking for the perfect food that would suit or which would rather, give him like satisfaction. So now he comes to this place. Now let's see what happens in this temple.
थाली थी, ये सब उसने भगवान को भोग लगाया था। तो आचार्य समंतभद्र जी ने पुजारी से कहा, आप ये भोजन मंदिर में अर्पित करते हो और फिर वापस उठा कर ले आते हो। क्या आप लोगों में से किसी में भी ऐसी शक्ति है कि ये जो व्यंजन है वो भगवान को खिला सके? अब ये सुन के तो पुजारी को बड़ा आश्चर्य हुआ। उसने पूछा, क्या आप में ऐसी शक्ति है कि आप ये भोजन भगवान को खिला सके? बस आचार्य समंतभद्र जी ने कहा, हाँ, मैं तो ये कार्य बड़ी आसानी से कर सकता हूँ। अब पुजारी को तो इस बात का विश्वास ही नहीं हुआ कि कोई ऐसा भी कर सकता है। वो तो भागा भागा किंग के पास, राजा के पास गया और राजा को सारी बात बताई। अब राजा को भी लगा कि शायद कोई मजाक कर रहा है, बट ही गॉट क्यूरियस। तो वो भी मंदिर में पहुंच गया। मंदिर पहुंचकर उन्होंने आचार्य समंतभद्र जी से कहा कि ये वो भोजन भगवान को खिला कर दिखाएं तो मानेंगे। तो आचार्य समंतभद्र जी ने सारे व्यंजनों को मंदिर के अंदर रखवा दिया और दरवाजा बंद करके कुछ ही देर में सारा भोजन खा लिया। हाँ, और फिर दरवाजा खोला और तो फिर सभी की आंखें खुली रह गईं। सभी आश्चर्यचकित थे क्योंकि भोजन के सारे थाल खाली थे। भोजन तो कुछ भी नहीं बचा था किसी को।
Okay, so now what happens that this pujari is telling to Samantbhadra that look, we have a lot of food, but we want the god in the temple to eat all this food, and we are unable to do that. So the Samantbhadra is saying, oh, I can do that. I can make God eat all this food. Now, obviously, he wanted to eat all this food. So this pujari, he goes to the Raja, he goes to the king, Prisha. He goes to the Prisha, leave the Caesars. But this pujari goes to the king and he's telling him, do you know that there's a person who can make sure that God eats all the food? So this Raja, Krit, became really curious and he came running towards the temple. So this pujari put all the food near the god, and then Samantbhadra locked that door and he ate all that food. Now let's see what happens.
कुछ समझ ही नहीं आया कि इतना जल्दी ये सारा भोजन कहाँ चला गया। अब वहाँ के मंदिर के व्यवस्थापक ने आचार्य समंतभद्र जी को वहाँ रहने की परमिशन दे दी। अब बस एक से एक बढ़कर पकवान मंदिरों में आने लगे। समंतभद्र जी रोज मंदिर का दरवाजा बंद करके विशाल अन्न राशि का भोग लगाने लगे। अब ऐसा करते करते 6 महीने बीत गए। धीरे धीरे उनका रोग खत्म होने लगा, मतलब अब उनकी भूख शांत होने लगी थी और इस वजह से वो पूरा चढ़ाया हुआ भोजन नहीं खा पाते थे, तो वो बचने लगा। राजा और सभी को भी शक होने लगा कि अब ये चढ़ाया हुआ भोजन बचने क्यों लगा।
Now slowly it took him about 6 months for this disease to naturally stop itself. So initially in the early few months, Samantbhadra could finish all that food. But now what happened, his disease also started to improve and basically he started to become healthy. And once he started to become healthy, look, he's now leaving some food. Some plates are empty. Some plates, you can see it is full of food. So now the Raja and the Pujari started to suspect, oh, there seems to be something fishy. Now let's see what happens next.
लगा इसका तो पता लगाना होगा। उन्होंने चुपचाप एक लड़के को मंदिर में छुपा दिया, ऊपर से फूल पत्तों से उसे ढक दिया जिससे वो किसी को दिखाई ना दे। अब हर दिन की तरह समंतभद्र जी ने मंदिर का दरवाजा बंद किया और मजे से भोजन करने लगे। और ये करता देख लड़के ने उन्हें देख लिया, बस मंदिर से आकर सबको सच बता दिया। राजा और अन्य सभी लोग समंतभद्र जी को धोखेबाज समझने लगे। पुजारियों ने कहा, इन्होंने चढ़ाया हुआ भोजन खाया है, हमारे देवता का अपमान किया, अब आप नमन करें, उन्हें क्षमा मांगे। इस पर समंतभद्र जी ने कहा, मैं तो केवल वीतराग भगवान को ही नमन करता हूँ। राजा के बहुत बार बोलने पर समंतभद्र जी ने कहा, ठीक है।
Now, as you all saw, Prisha, pay attention, okay? Okay, now as you all saw that everyone started to suspect, where is all this food going? Where is all this food going? So they hid a boy, as you all saw in the video. He was hid under the flowers. And then basically Samantbhadra's, that he was eating the food and obviously the god was not eating the food. That whole lie came out in front of the king because a small boy, he came and told everything to the king. Now this Pujari and king are getting very, very, very angry. They are like, now you have to bow down to the deity who is in this temple. Now what happens next, Neet? Now, Samantbhadra is saying, I only bow down to Vitrag Bhagwan. What is Vitrag Bhagwan? Somebody who has not got any rag or dvesh, any likes or dislikes. Basically, Arihant Bhagwan only. Only and only, Samantbhadra said, I only bow down to Arihant Bhagwan and to Siddh Bhagwan. I don't bow down to any other deity. Now, what does the Pujari answer? Play.
अगर आप इतना कहते हैं तो मैं कल सुबह नमस्कार करूंगा। अब राजा ने समंतभद्र जी को एक कमरे में बंद करवा दिया और बाहर तलवार लिए पहरेदार तैनात कर दिए ताकि वो कहीं भाग न जाएं। अब समंतभद्र जी तो शांत बैठकर बहुत भक्ति भाव से भगवान की स्तुति करने लगे। उनकी भक्ति के प्रभाव से वहाँ पर एक देवी प्रकट हुई। देवी ने प्रसन्नता से कहा, आपकी भक्ति और श्रद्धा बहुत पवित्र है। आप स्वयंभुवा भूतितेन भूतले पद्यांश को लेकर 24 तीर्थंकरों की वंदना करते हुए एक स्तवन की रचना कीजिए। प्रभु की भक्ति में किए गए सारे कार्य सफल होते हैं। इसके बाद समंतभद्र जी ने स्तवन की रचना की। अगले दिन बहुत सारे लोग मंदिर के बाहर आकर इकट्ठे हो गए। राजा की आज्ञा होते ही समंतभद्र जी को मंदिर में लाया गया। मंदिर में आकर उनकी भावपूर्ण भक्ति से 24 तीर्थंकर भगवान की स्तुति करना स्टार्ट किया। जैसे ही 8वें तीर्थंकर भगवान श्री चंद्र प्रभु का नाम आया, उसी समय तो जैसे चमत्कार हो गया। मंदिर में चंद्र प्रभु भगवान की 4 दिशा की ओर मुख करने वाली प्रतिमा प्रकट हो गई। सभी के सभी आश्चर्यचकित हो गए और सब चंद्र प्रभु भगवान की जय जयकार करने लगे। अब रोग भी ठीक हो गया था तो आचार्य समंतभद्र जी ने फिर से मुनि दीक्षा ली और सबको धर्म पालन का उपदेश दिया। धर्म का सच्चा स्वरूप सुन राजा का हृदय भी परिवर्तित हो गया और उसने भी उन्हीं के चरणों में मुनि दीक्षा ले ली। आचार्य समंतभद्र ने ऐसे अनेकों ग्रंथों की रचना भी करी है, जैसे कि रत्नकरंडक श्रावकाचार, स्तुति विद्या जिन शतक, स्वयंभू स्त्रोत, युक्त अनुशासन, देवागम, आपती मीमांसा स्त्रोत एवं अन्य कई ग्रंथ। इनमें रत्नकरंडक श्रावकाचार्य बहुत ही पॉपुलर ग्रंथ है। इसमें बताया गया है कि एक गृहस्थ को अपना जीवन कैसे जीना चाहिए जिससे कि भविष्य में वो मोक्ष प्राप्त कर सके। ये हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों लैंग्वेजेस में उपलब्ध है और इसके लिंक आपको वीडियो डिस्क्रिप्शन में भी मिल जाएंगे। तो देखा कैसे आचार्य महाराज ने सबको सही धर्म समझाया और खुद भी धर्म में आगे बढ़े। आप भी बढ़ेंगे ना धर्म में आगे। जय जिनेंद्र।
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so you notice that what happens later, that the king locks Samantbhadra in a room for a night. Samantbhadra tells the king, I will bow down to the deity. And the deity was not Arihant Bhagwan, it was some other deity. So Samantbhadra was a very clever man. Look, this is something which we should all learn, that we can buy time. We can buy time. If something wrong is happening in life, and we know that we are right in our heart, we can buy a little bit of time. You can tell them, oh, I will show you the report tomorrow morning. And whatever is the correct report, you get a little bit of time, you buy time so that you can produce the correct report, maybe after a few hours or maybe after a few days, whatever it is in life. Okay, so now Samantbhadra, he's locked in a room and the whole night he's meditating on Arihant Bhagwan, Siddh Bhagwan. He's thinking about Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan. Then a goddess appears, as you noticed in the video, Prisha, that a goddess, like a goddess appears, and the goddess instructs, or like she gives him an idea, like, she gives him an idea that, why don't you write a nice stotra of Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan, of our 24 Tirthankar Bhagwan. And he writes a beautiful stotra of Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan. Prisha, don't play with your hands. So he plays, he writes a beautiful stotra of Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan, of our 24 Tirthankar Bhagwan. Look, he bought time. It gave him a little bit of time to think. Look, he did not want to bow down to anybody else who is not Vitrag, who is not Arihant Bhagwan, because only Arihant Bhagwan and Siddh Bhagwan have got complete knowledge. So that is the reason we bow down to them. And that is the reason why we don't bow down to any other deity, isn't it? Now, the next morning, the guards bring Samantbhadra. And like Samantbhadra starts to recite this Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan Stotra. He reaches only the 8th Tirthankar, imagine Preet, only the 8th Tirthankar, Chandra Prabhuji. And from nowhere, or you can say maybe from the earth, a beautiful pratima, a beautiful idol of Chandra Prabhuji comes out. And everyone is happy and everyone is delighted. Look at his faith. What is the key word over here? We have got 7 minutes. I will make sure I will finish on time. The key word is faith. Look, he did not drop his faith, Veer. Very important for all of us. In life, we have got exams, we have got work, we have got everything, but we need to maintain that faith. કે હું અરિહંત ને સિદ્ધ ભગવાનની સામે જ હું નમીશ, બીજે ક્યાંય હું નહીં નમન. Like naman means bow down. I will only bow down to Arihant and Siddh Bhagwan. And કેટલી અંદરમાં શ્રદ્ધા. Shraddha means faith. He had a lot of faith in Arihant Bhagwan. And look at, because of his faith, everything started to become very nice for him. But from inside only need. Sometimes when we don't have faith in ourselves, everything goes wrong for us in life. So the fault is not on the outside. The fault is in the inside. Apri on faith is not strong enough. That's why things start to go wrong in our life. So many beautiful lessons to learn from this, Prisha. Next, what happens, Kreet, is that only Chandra Prabhuni Pratima, idol, comes up, then everyone starts to bow down to Chandra Prabhuji, the 8th Tirthankar, to the idol, because this story is of the 2nd century, and this story is after Mahavir Bhagwan has gone to moksha. But a beautiful idol of Chandra Prabhuji comes up, everyone bows down, and then what happens? The final part of the story, Avi, is that then everyone starts to believe in the Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan. Everyone starts to believe in the Jain philosophy. Everyone starts to worship the Chovis Tirthankar Bhagwan. And ji Raja hata hai, the king, even finally he also takes Muni Diksha. Look at, because of one person's faith, so many people benefited. Now, obviously, now his disease had even gone away of the Samantbhadraji. So again, he takes Muni Diksha. So he leaves his clothes again. Look, when he was a householder, he was wearing those white clothes. Again, when he takes Muni Diksha, Prisha, he, as you noticed in the video, he threw his clothes out and he put them on the ground. Again, he became completely naked. And again, he became a Muni Diksha and he goes back to the jungle. Now he's not living in the city as he was living before. So these are important, small points, very, very important points. He goes back to the jungle. He's no longer living in the city anymore. And then he writes beautiful shastras. In the beginning, I told you the name of the shastra, Ratnakand Shravak Achar. What does it mean? And they also said in the video that it is available in Hindi and in English also. And even also in Gujarati, it is available. Okay. it means that Ratna are the three jewels: Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra. Neat knows this. Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Charitra. And Shravak are all of us. We all are householders. Girls are called Shravika, and boys or men are called Shravak. So Ratnak and Shravak Achar. How are we householders supposed to live? What are we supposed to do? What are we not supposed to do? Etc. Etc. is all written beautifully in that book. So this is the gist of the story, that Samantbhadra Acharya had a disease and he wanted to take Sallekna. Sallekna means that he wanted to maybe fast or meditate and be within the soul. But his teacher thought, look, this is not appropriate for this student. It might have been appropriate for another student. But he told him, look, you go to the city and you go and sort out your disease. So when your teacher, something which is good for Veer might not be good for Prisha. So you never feel that the teacher is favoring somebody, because the teacher knows what is good for Neet, it might not be good for Kreet. So your like teacher cares about you. So always have faith in your teacher. Always have faith in Arihant and Siddh Bhagwan whenever you're in difficulty. Okay. So we are done with the story.